From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh!
Well, by now you'll realize that I've decided to replace my WP-40 with the newer improved model from Jebao, the PP-15. Now, I bet a few of you are wondering how come you didn't get one of the gyre-like models, and I seriously considered it, but there were three really important reasons. One, it cost way more than I felt like spending because a brother is broke these days. Two, I didn't like not being able to control the direction in which I want the flow to go. And with these propeller pump models, you can direct it. And since I have multiple pumps that are controlled by the apex, I like being able to direct it either at the surface, down, sideways, or wherever I feel there's a dead spot in the tank. And the third, and more importantly, is contrary to the WP-40 that did about 24 to 2,500 gallons per hour, this bad boy does between 900 and 3,400 gallons per hour, and the controller can run 2 pumps. So that was a really big selling point to me because I like to be able to dial down or dial up. You know, different times of the year I change the flow in the tank, you know, just to kind of mimic like a natural phenomenon where you never have steady flow in the ocean. I like to be able to control it myself. So let's go over some of the points, and I will go over them as I unbox it so that this video isn't super long. And I ordered it online. The pumps vary from about, you can get these PP models from anywhere from 60 to 70 bucks nowadays, since the new model is out and they've kind of focused on selling those. You got a picture of the controller. I'll give you a closer look here. Let me close that so you can bring it in a little closer. I won't have to take it out of the box and show you, but anyway, you can see the controllability. You can set it from anywhere to 900 gallons to full capacity. It has multiple wave modes. You have the crescent type flow, which does the vroom, 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 vroom. Or rather, actually, that's a pulse mode. That would be the first one. That just goes the vroom, boom, boom. The crescent modes go up. It goes vroom. So it'll increase the flow and then reduce the flow, which is, I greatly prefer that because I am a avid believer that those constant on, off, on, off, on, off, several hundred times a day is definitely a long time wear on your impellers. So I kind of prefer the up and down where it's not actually cutting off and on. So I really like that. And that was what you would refer to as the speed control. And you have the night modes. It has a night sensor in here. And this one, contrary to the old one, this one has a light sensor based right on the controller. So okay, when it gets dark in your house or nighttime comes around, you can put this inside your hood so when the lights go off in your tank, the pump will think it's night mode and it'll reduce the flow. I think that's really awesome because fish should have a downtime and your coral should have a downtime. If you keep coral, it should have a downtime where they're not getting blasted full capacity. And I'll give you a closer look here. Okay, and as you can see, these controllers are made to control multiple pumps. Okay, focus, baby. All right. I'm screwing around with my phone here. It has a voice activated feature. So it'll have, you can control the pump as a master or as a slave. So if you have 2 pumps and you control them, one can be the master and the slave. And one also good benefit is when you have that night mode and it dials the pump down, you're saving electricity, people. Electricity is nothing to shark at. You like to save electricity because your electric bill can get crazy. And there's an actual picture of the controller. Actually, I left out, it has an else mode, which all of the Jebao pumps have. Else mode will just randomly switch up the flow. I like to do that too sometimes. So you got the controller in the box. This is the power brick. If you don't know what the power brick is, it's just the power brick. It's your power adapter. So that's part 1. And then you have the power cable. This one comes with a pretty decently long cable. I got a controller once. It wasn't made by Jebao. I think it was Hydor or one of these knockoff brands. Maybe not even Hydor. But it came with like a 3-foot plug. And I'm like, well, I got a 6-foot tank. What the hell am I going to do with a 3-foot plug? I couldn't even run it from the tank to the power strip. And here you have the controller itself, which also has a long cable. And this is why I say they come with a long cable, because not only do you have this from the pump to the controller, but you have from the power brick to the wall. So it gives you a significant amount of cable. It's really heavy. Only thing that I'll notice in comparison to the WP-40s is this one is hard attached. The other one actually came apart. This one is bolted in, so it gives it a lot of stability. But in order to get the 360 effect, you'd have to turn it, you know, which isn't a big deal. I actually like this better because you can turn it from the base, and this magnet is super strong. I can't even pull it apart. Okay, there you go. Jeez. Has a little gasket inside so that you can pull it apart. Whoa, it is really strong. So you ain't got to worry about this falling off your tank. But I love the directional flow. I'm old-fashioned. If I feel there's a spot in my tank, rather than having those long bar types made by like the Max Spec type of gyres and things like that, that it doesn't give you like a directional control. It kind of just pulls water in its own controlled loop. And depending on the type of tank you got, like my tank is very long, it's 6 feet long here. I'll give you a shot. Maybe I don't want that standard flow. I want to be able to direct it into maybe a dry or slow area like over here. Since the pump is over there, I usually turn it based up, or it'll bounce off the glass and give me some flow over here. But just to give you an idea, you know, that's what I like to have. I like control over what's going on in the tank. So that is the pump in itself. It's really well made. It doesn't seem much larger or smaller than the WP-40, and it's really heavy grade plastic. I've never had one of these break as far as the housing unit is concerned. I've never had one of these Jebao units break. I do notice that they've made this stronger. This in the first generation used to be pretty thin. This is a much heavier grade of plastic. And like I say, one thing about the Jebao, they're a knockoff. You can call them a knockoff, but as the next generation of pump comes out, they've been actually improving on every model. And you can see this one uses 40 watts. First generation wave makers in this hobby drew anywhere from 60 to 80 watts. Some of them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think the older Hydor, I think, even pulled 100 watts. I used to have 2 Hydor pumps, which weren't as strong as these. But we're talking about a long time ago. So let's get this on the tank and give it a proper review.